Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. So one of the people that comes around my page, his name is James L. And he had mentioned to me that he was thinking about making a video about the similarities of Michael and Smokey and Diana with their images and stuff. And so then he had sent me this yesterday. He had sent me this photo. But then I had spoke to him, asking if he's going to make a video, and I could see he's thinking about it, but he's still not convinced and stuff. So I went ahead. I thought this was a very good combination of the photo of Smokey and Michael. I wanted to talk about it really quick, so I'm going to use his photo, the one he sent me. So the first thing is, when I had the thought of Michael Jackson being the son of Diana Ross, okay? At that time, I don't know anything about the relationship of Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross. I'm not that in, like I said, I was a Michael Jackson fan, and I know Diana Ross, and I know, but I'm like, they're before me. They're a generation before me. I'm not like a massive fan of them. I wasn't a massive fan of them, right? I didn't know that Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson had a history. I didn't know until I went and started doing my investigation. That's where Smokey Robinson came into it, because through the investigation. So I wouldn't have had anything about any of the images of Smokey looking like Michael or any of that. And I would have no thoughts about that stuff. But so now, these photos together, when you look at them, I clearly say that when you look at, let's start down at Michael's chin. Look at Michael's chin and look at Smokey's chin. They're identical. Come up to the mouth and look at the lips. There's Michael's lips. Look at Smokey's lips. There's Michael's lips. You come up into the nose. That nose looks very, very similar to Smokey. It's like, so just coming through that part, down through the nose, down to the mouth, down to the chin. Like I said, that's his dad. Now look at that. Look at actually how similar they are when you put them up that way. And you look at the chin there, look at the lips. That's Smokey, their lips right there, the nose. That's the face right there. That's his father. I think this one right here shows it really, really well. But and then it shows the afro, how much of a difference, of a change of an appearance the afro does. Just by putting the afro in, look at the drastic change of appearance. So I just wanted to mention that one right now. And, people just look. Just start looking. There's Michael and there's Smokey. That's his father. If you want to know who Michael Jackson is, you're going to need to look at Smokey Robinson and Diana Ross, his real parents. If you want to understand all of the Peter Pan and all the Neverland Ranch, you're going to have to understand that Michael was given away as a child. But then his parents came back and reintroduced themselves back into his life, but left him as a member of that Jackson family. That's where all of the crazy damage occurs. Then you have Diana nurturing Michael through his early teen years, where Michael at that time would have been developing into learning about women, and he would have been getting his natural sexual progression, development into women and stuff. His childhood, adolescence would have developed that way, but that's not what happened, because Diana Ross came in and interjected herself into that situation, and she's representing herself as a sultry woman in Michael's presence, because he wasn't raised with her. So it created the weird thing which is clearly what you can see from what Michael lived out his life. Of all of the stuff, you can clearly see that these are the roots and the origins to which that all of that stuff began. And I explain everything, which actually in turn explains that Michael's not a pedophile, because my story shows you the progression of how Michael's damaged, and how that damage in turn causes him to be a virgin on purpose, where he's intentionally not having sex with women. Intentionally, he's actually a virgin. So if you go into those pedophile people and you talk to the people that are really interested in thinking Michael's a pedophile, what you're going to see is they're not going to be able to explain for Michael being a virgin. They're going to think that Michael's a form of a sexual deviant, some form of a sexual deviant. And if Michael Jackson was any form of an actual sexual deviant, some point during his teenage years, he would have been having sex with some of those women, some starlet women. There's all kinds of people that were out there where he had opportunity. Like I said, even his brothers were bringing hookers around, and he wouldn't have sex with them because he flat out wouldn't do it. He wouldn't do it. There's a reason why he wouldn't do it, but there's no way if Michael was an actual Jackson and his brothers are bringing hookers around, if he's just a regular part of the family, of course at one time he would have had to have had sex just to try and just as an experiment. Well, let me see what this is about. Plus, he would have had to prove himself to his brothers, prove himself to Joe. But Michael didn't worry about having to try to prove himself to any of them because at 10 years old, Diana comes in and tells him the truth. So at that point, he's dealing with this whole other thing that the Jacksons aren't dealing with. They're living their normal lives. They're all out there being rock stars, having sex with girls, completely normal. If Michael Jackson was a pedophile, at some point he would have had sex with the girls. But what you find out is there's no sex with girls, that Michael's actually a virgin. Then you see that that's what explains and justifies Michael to himself. It's what allowed Michael to justify himself, to put himself in the rooms with those kids. Now, he's doing things that I do say are inappropriate, but it's not sexual in nature because Michael's a virgin. There's nothing there sexual for him with those kids. So I'm the one that actually proves why he's not a pedophile. I don't say any of this stuff, well, we weren't there, we can't actually know. No. We actually know. When you actually know who Michael is, when you actually know he's a victim, he's orphaned, when he's dealing with all this stuff, that he literally didn't have sex with women, because when you actually see Michael, he obviously is attracted to women. He's a heterosexual man. Michael's a heterosexual man. You see it through his progression. So, but what happened is he's a virgin. The virgin is the key thing that stops everything from happening. And the only reason he remains a virgin is because Diana Ross comes in and damages him at 10 years old. It's what explains everything. And I'm the only one. That's why nobody will step into the ring and deal with what I'm doing, because once they step in and start seeing what I'm doing, they instantly realize they cannot even dare deal with this, because this story might be true. And then once my story comes out as true, it makes all those idiots who thought they were so smart, they were yelling at everybody, they thought they knew everything. My story destroys all of it. All of them are stupid. All of them are fake. All of them are frauds. All of them. All of the media. Every book that was ever written. Everybody. My story destroys all of them. We live in a whole new world after this story comes out. And you get to thank Michael Jackson's actual life experience for changing the actual world. He's actually going to change the world once this story comes out.